You pride yourself on being understanding. You see the pain behind people's behavior. You notice the trauma behind their anger. You make excuses for the ones who hurt you. You tell yourself they've been through a lot. They don't mean it. They just need someone who understands them. And maybe they do. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Your empathy might be the very thing keeping you trapped. There are people who don't heal through compassion. They feed on it. And the paradox is this: the empathy that makes you a beautiful human being can also make you an easy target. This isn't about becoming heartless. It's about becoming conscious, because when empathy is given without discernment, it stops being love and becomes self-betrayal. To understand this, we must first understand why you empathize so deeply. Many chronic empaths were once children who experienced emotional neglect or instability. You became hyper-attuned to moods. You learned to anticipate tension. You practiced emotional regulation, not for yourself, but for others. This is called hypervigilance. Your nervous system learned, if I can sense it early, I can prevent the explosion. Some of you experience parentification, becoming the emotional caretaker of adults. You learn that love equals responsibility. Your brain's default mode network, which shapes identity, organized around this role. I am the stable one. I am the understanding one. I can fix this. Now enter a different archetype. Individuals with strong traits of narcissistic personality patterns or chronic manipulative tendencies. They are not healed by empathy. In fact, excessive empathy can reinforce their lack of accountability. These individuals often operate from fragile egos, deflection mechanisms, and an externalized blame system. When confronted, they redirect. When held accountable, they become the victim. When shown compassion, they interpret it as access. Empathy to them is not a bridge, it's leverage. Here's the invisible greed. You believe that if you just love harder, understand deeper, stay longer, you can transform them. But what you're actually doing is reenacting an old script. Carl Jung wrote, "What you resist not only persists, but will grow in size." If you refuse to see the pattern, it repeats. You aren't drawn to these people randomly. They feel familiar. Their emotional volatility feels like home. Their distance feels like something you've navigated before. And so, you stay. You explain their cruelty. You minimize your pain. You silence your intuition. Seneca warned, "He who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary." Empaths often suffer twice, once from the harm and once from the guilt of setting boundaries. You fear being cold. You fear being selfish. You fear becoming what hurt you. But empathy without boundaries is not virtue. It is self-erasure. And Rilke reminds us, let everything happen to you, beauty and terror, but not everything deserves unlimited access to you. If this dynamic feels familiar, you might recognize these patterns. In relationships, you are drawn to emotionally unavailable or volatile partners. You believe your patience can heal them. In conflict, you apologize first, even when you were hurt. You prioritize harmony over truth. In self-worth, you feel valuable when you are needed, not when you are simply present. In boundaries, you explain your limits excessively. You feel guilty enforcing them. In career, you overextend yourself for difficult colleagues. You take on emotional labor that isn't yours. In identity, you confuse compassion with compliance. You struggle to differentiate kindness from self-sacrifice. These are coping mechanisms. They were brilliant adaptations in childhood, but in adulthood, they can tether you to people who refuse growth. Here's the key distinction. Empathy is healthy when it coexists with accountability. If someone consistently avoids responsibility, weaponizes vulnerability, or punishes you for boundaries, your empathy will not reform them. It will reinforce them. Unlearning begins with recognizing this. You are not responsible for healing people who refuse to face themselves. Healing for the empath does not mean becoming cold. It means becoming discerning. It means practicing compassion with conditions. Inner child work may reveal why chaos feels magnetic. Shadow work may expose your unconscious savior complex. Nervous system regulation helps you tolerate the discomfort of saying no, because for you, boundaries feel like danger, but they are safety. Real empathy starts with yourself. It asks, does this connection expand me or drain me? Am I loving them or trying to earn love? One powerful truth to remember: you can understand someone's pain without volunteering to endure it. Not everyone who is wounded is willing to heal, and you cannot outlove someone's resistance to growth. As psychologist Harriet Lerner said, compassion is not about rescuing others. It is about respecting yourself. Let that sink in. You are allowed to care without collapsing. You are allowed to walk away without hatred. You are allowed to protect your energy without apology. And remember, the goal is not to be fixed, but to become whole. If this message challenged you in a necessary way, Share it with someone who confuses empathy with obligation. And if you want deeper psychological insight into human behavior, subscribe, because awareness is power. Not all hearts need to be opened by you. Some doors are meant to stay closed.